I actually started off as a scout first for about 6 months, and then as of this year, I joined Nansen. But okay, to make it quick, right? Let's just go into what is this Nansen Scouts program about. First of all, basically, if you are given you can just immediately go, Nansen Scouts program. It should be the first thing that will pop up. What a scout usually does is they will look on chain for what are the latest stuff that is not labeled in Nansen's platform. So we have, so many addresses come up every single day. Or, you've always got new projects, whether it's actual legit projects or they're just shit coins or meme coins, right? But the Scouts program, what a scout usually does is they will look on chain or they look through what is on the dash, and they will just label it for us, right? We give them different tools. So a few perks you get the Nansen platform for free, right? Which we all know that it's probably the best analytics platform in this as of now, with so many chains, so many things going on. You've got DAOs, you've got hot contracts, you've got wallet profilers, smart money, so on and so forth. And then you also get to use our platform where we need you to help us label addresses. So you could do like one address or multiple addresses in the platform, and you also get paid up to a certain amount of money, right? What we look for in a scout is actually very simple stuff. It's not rocket science. If you are in DeFi or if you use Etherscan pretty often, whether it's just to see whose wallet does it belong to or what, whether it's the staking pool that you're using, the correct U fund you're using, or if you're looking at a multi-sig and the funds of it, then this program would essentially be very simple to navigate, right? You just need to label it. So for example, it could be sushi swap, a sushi token, and then it's a token contract. So what we want in a scout is somebody who wants to grind, right? It's very simple stuff. It's just looking for addresses or the right contracts that brings value to the Nansen platform. And you just need big data entry skills. It's very simple, it's very easy, and it's not very hard. And as long as you understand how Etherscan works, or even all the other block explorers like BSC, Arbitrum, AVAX, we've also got things, Phantom, right? So a few chains that we cover. And as long as you just understand the way of how these block explorers work, it's also very easy for you. And if you know how to read smart contracts, we do have some scouts with us now who really read smart contracts really well, and they can completely see whether could be a rug or it could be hacked, right? So some people would bring it up to us and say, hey, we noticed this, and they're like, ooh, okay, maybe we need to talk to the team, the project on the team or whatever. So those are the we need. What we are looking for is, again, if you're on Twitter all the time, looking to aim into the next project or looking to aim into the next, if you want to gamble and aim into the next shitcoin, then you are the kind of people that we, right? So instead, it could be like a fixed income or side gig kind of thing where you join the scout. NFT collectors, a lot of people who use Nansen love the NFT portion, and you've got so many things going on there. So what are the requirements to be part of the program? It's basically just 40 addresses a month. At least 40 million a month, right? So 40 addresses, very simple. If you go on GitHub, if you go on Gitbook, you've already got easily 10, 15, or even like 20 addresses there. So you could do it in 2 days. And the other things is sometimes we do ask for help for ad hoc, to do ad hoc thing. We might have a bunch of that we can't really label at that point because the team is so stretched with doing other things. So we might get your help to do that, and then you'll be rewarded based on that. So how the bonus rewards work is you make between 500 to 2,000 USDC. We will send it over to you, and 500 last as just simple numbers. We've currently got about 38 scouts now, and 15 of them were rewarded last month. So it's not like a competition. It's not like, oh, you get it, you deserve it. So if you see, this 2,000 reward here, it's not just one person that receives it. It's a bunch of people that could receive it as long as you hit, let's say, a 3 billion total coverage. And what this total coverage means is that it could be with volume, balances, transactions, token prices as long as it hits a 3 billion. And we have our matrix behind the scenes that would easily calculate that for you. So you don't have to calculate it yourself. And once you submit and we approve your addresses and it goes on the front end, it's automatically calculated, which you will have a portion to look at, right? So it is good money. You could make up to about 2,000 USDC. Out of 15, I think we had 3 or 4 people last month, as of July, who made up to 2,000 USDC. And some people hit 500, some people hit 1,000, some people hit 1,005. Some do message me on the site who are interested, and they ask how many hours do I spend as a scout previously. What I did was about 1 to 2 hours a day, and I never touch my weekends because weekends are my days with my family, with my friends, or whatever. And so it is a place where, if you are free and you're already on Twitter anyway, right? You're on Twitter, you are here even in the office hours, and you have time to be part, just so interested and curious with what is going on. My mic's a bit chopped. I just read the message.
Yeah, if you try, like when we look at the other stuff in a second, and just see if like your laptop might be better. It wasn't as bad before when we were preparing.
Right. Give me
I don't know why.
Give me 1 second. Let me see.
And I see everyone saying GM. I see someone says 2 losers talking shit, which made me laugh. Is it working now? Oh, we can't even hear you at all now then. Sorry, everyone. We've got some technical issues. If you go on the settings on StreamYard and put your mic on.
Is it better?
It might be better, yeah.
Okay, let's let me know if it's a bit choppy. You can just interrupt me.
It's better now. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, anyways, back to the point. So yeah, you can make up to 2,000 USDC, and it is pretty good money, especially in the bear market. So it's good, stable side income, for you to do whatever you want with that money, and it is something that everybody could even join. Right? We've got a bunch of people who, like for me, I joined the Scouts program with zero idea how to use Etherscan at that time. And eventually I learned, right? So learning process as well to show us that you are really interested to grow and learn in that way, then you could go ahead and apply and trade together, right? So there will be some of the other small little perks would be you are in a small community in our Discord channel with about 30 to 40 people. And, you could share your thoughts. You could ask them for ideas, ask them for feedbacks. We have our things like our AMAs. We also actually give scouts some merch, right? So we are in producing some merch to give out to the scouts. So you could have a cap like this, or a bottle, or a book, or a t-shirt, right? That belongs to you, and you get to rep the brand. So it's not just contribute kind of thing. It's also, we want to, give you things that makes you proud of kind of being part of Nansen, not full-time, but like a contributing or freelance basis per se, right? So how do we support you is we will onboard you, so you won't be just thrown into the deep end and completely do everything on your own. We have a team, so myself and another member is named Nathan, and we've also got other bunch of people like Diego and Phil and everyone else who's in Discord who would be, or in the team per se, would kind of guide you if you have questions. And you can also put your questions in the chat, where we've got our regular scouts, and we also have this thing called the elevated scouts, where the elevated scouts are people who have been contributing for a few months, maybe half a year or so, and they are so-called promoted in that way, and they get to approve contracts, they get to see your submissions, they get to help us with looking at your addresses. Because imagine we've got 40 people, and if 40 people submit 10 addresses a day, it's 400. If myself and my team member were just to look at 400 addresses a day and make sure it's good evidences, it would just be crazy. Right, so the elevated scouts come in and help us there to guide us, and to also be part of the community and be part of just a growing bunch of people, or a bunch of DJs who are just trying to ape into things together or whatever. Right, so it's not just a one-off thing. There would be some communication, right? And we also give you as much feedback. So how to do it? It's very simple. Just there would be this part where you can just fill out your onboarding, right? So once you fill it out, you just fill a few questions. There will also be so let's say I just go here, I put back, right? Then it gives you an idea of what you are or what you need from a person. So it sounds great. Just go ahead. And what we need you to do is just submit a few addresses. So at least 10 addresses, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a Google Sheet, address evidences, what are the things that you do. So let's say we go, let's start, and then you just give us the Google address link, right? So 5 addresses about crypto project that maybe you've seen in the past week. It could be NFTs, it could be anything. It could be a token contract, staking pool, and then give us 5 more if you have, let's say, the skills to docs funds. If you've found some addresses from some funds, or if you read through certain people's tweets or threads and you found a hacker or wherever or whatever, then you can also put it in. So about 10 addresses, you put it here, and then copy the Google Sheet link to us, and then we'll review it. And it's simple stuff. We'll get on a call with you and have a chat, right? So yeah, essentially that's what the Scouts program is. What the Scouts do, right? So people ask us what the Scouts do. So if you go over to our platform, if you have the platform, we have this thing called hot contracts, right? So we've got hot contracts on ETH and multi-chain hot contracts, right? So when you go into multi-chain, you would come up with a number of different chains and see what's going on cross-chain, right? So you've got AVEX, who seems in the past hour seems to have a big bunch of token inflows going here. So we're not so sure what this is, right? So what a Scout does is they hop on it. They just have to try and docs or find out what this address is about. So looking from this, no idea it's USDT. Maybe we could use GitHub to find out who it belongs to, or look at the deployer, who is this deployer, and see what they're doing. It could be a fund, it could be anything, right? And for example, they will also see, so there's always a lot of things to label here, right? Because there's so many things going on so many chains at the same time, right? So if you look at this, let's take a look. So this is, no idea what this is. This seems to probably be a person, I think. No, or it could
I think
be
you might have
any...
highlighted it. But did you say, so you also get VIP, right? If you're a Scout.
Oh, yes. Correct.
Yeah.
So you do get the VIP, access, which gives you a lot of benefits. So many benefits.
So you can earn up to 2,000 a month. You get VIP, and you also get merch, which I didn't know. So yeah, you could get one of these hats. You could get merch that I don't even have yet, which hopefully is a very good thing. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So we've got a bunch of people here who are actually Scouts, like Boaz, Philip, and who are in the chat. So thank you for being here. But yeah, so they are Scouts, right? And they have been part of the program for a while. So what we want you to do is look at this kind of addresses. No idea who it is or who it belongs to. So if I were to do this and just check it out, I'm not so sure what it is. It looks like it might be a MEV bot. Yeah, it might
Do Scouts only look at hot contracts, Ben? Or is it like any address?
Anything,
so
any contract, like any address. So if it's not doxed at all, or there's no label to it per se, you can go ahead and label it. So it could be anything. If you see anything on Twitter, for example, there was a Scout that looked at the Curve 5 DNS hijacker yesterday, I think. Was it yesterday? I feel like it was like last week. Wow.
Might be 2 days ago. 2 days ago.
Right, yeah. So the Curve Finance DNS hijacker. So somebody found the 2 addresses, right? So you could look at that and like immediately submit it because we want it to be up as soon as possible. So we could, see what that person is doing with their tokens or with the money that's going around.
Is it also worth mentioning, Ben? So I think not just you, I think a few people, right, have gone from like Scouts to the attributions team.
Yes.
So if you do a good job, you can become full-time, right?
Yes, there is an opportunity there, as long as there's an opening, not to the attribution team. I think Greg from our community manager, is also from Phil, who was one of the Scouts, myself, another team member, Nathan. We've got, I think, Luigi. I think he was a Scout. We've got one named Bruno. I think 6 or 7 people from the Scout throughout the past year have joined us full-time, right? So there could be an opportunity. It's like a way to a full-time job, or from Scout to a full-time job. You could do either one. If let's say you do join the scouts, yes.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, I think it's probably a good experience, even if you don't get full-time for Nansen. It's a really good experience just in Web3 and like a really nice way to kind of just enter in to the space, which everyone knows is quite a difficult thing to do. So yeah, I would definitely encourage you to apply, especially if you feel like you have a good gauge of like tracking wallets, or you don't even need that much skill to do it. So yeah, definitely apply.
Yeah, it's more of a passion thing per se. So you're passionate about it, join us. You know, there are some people that I've really made good friends with. I met some of them in real life already. When I went over to Singapore and there was a scout who was there. I'm like, hey, you want to grab a cup of coffee? Let's meet up. And also, might meet a few of them when I'm traveling end of the month over like in Europe and stuff like that. So it's not just, you know, you come in, contribute. It's also a friendship thing, relationship thing, networking thing as well. I think we did have a scout that hangs out with a lot of our Nansen team members at the conferences. I think his name is Paul, and he's from Spain, but he flies around in Paris. You know, for Paris, ECC, and last year Solana. I think there was Paris. There was Barcelona also, and he was there. And every time he's there, he hangs out with them. So it's not just be part of the program, go, but it's also come in, try and build a community around you, and also you are in a way part of the Nansen family. Because without the scouts, all these things will not be labeled, right? The scouts